that time of year. Snow's starting to fly in the mountains, and looks like this season's coming in pretty quickly for us. You hear Star whine in the background. She knows the season's over too. So we had a lot of fun. We found a lot of good stuff, but gonna do a recap for the year, do a short video, show you what we found, a few of the places we went to, and asking you to please stick with us through the winter. Gonna do some fun videos. Couple on how to ask permission. That's a scary subject for some of you. I know it was for me when I first got started, but I'll give you a couple ideas to lighten the mood and get you into a few places. After that, we're going to take a look at some online maps, old resources that maybe you don't know for your area, so you can find good places to go. Good place to find relics, old coins and things, and just stuff that's overlooked that maybe you don't know about. So join us for this last episode and keep your coil slow and low. I want to go through a few of these items as we're looking at them for the year end. It's a 10-carat rope gold chain found at a school nearby. This one here really fooled me. On the band it says 18-carat Zales, as in Zales Jewelers. Did a little research on these. Back in the 50s and 60s, traveling salesmen for jewelry stores would carry these, so if they got robbed or lost them, they wouldn't be losing the real item. So, didn't mean to tap that. This thing really fooled me, and it gave me a heart attack when I found it. This pin is a class pin. It says 1951 Downhill Ski Championships, and it's got a school name on it, but I have never been able to locate where that came from. This is a 10-carat gold ring found at a local park. This is a 10-carat gold bracelet that hardly even came up when I was detecting. And this little baby here says 10-carat Mexico. So I guess we're calling that gold as well. Going through some of the relics we found this year. Some were filmed, some were not, some were found prior to getting a camera and getting this channel running. So let's start with this big crown found out here in a farm field. I'm not sure if that came off a stove or a fireplace, but I got plans for putting that thing on the wall someday. It's big and it's probably iron, and it's heavy. I don't know what it came from. Here's a good sized Indian artifact for our area. That's a spearhead, broke off. Found that in a farm field around July. Moving on to this buckle, I found this spring. Not sure if that's a shoe buckle, but I think that's 1800s. It came from an old school in the area. There's an old earring that came from the same school, calling that early 1900s. It's got a real pretty stone in there, real pretty setting. Very ornate for that year. This one I found recently. This is probably my prized jewelry piece. I found this in the mountains at an 1872 homestead. I believe it's silver. Haven't tested that yet, but it's very ornate. Early 1900s, late 1800s with a blue stone. There's a Schrader valve stem nut. Found that at a farm property. Along with this cap here for the Schrader valve. This, moving on, is Northern Pacific Railroad switchman's key. Found this area. It's goes with these locks in this railroad business. You can see the slide still works on the lock, and that would go in, and that would be the switchman's key. This one I know everybody's been eyeing up. I found this this spring, laying about 2 inches down at an old school property near a farm where it was a small community. That's a double barrel percussion shotgun. Imagine probably a 12 or 16 caliber, maybe 10 gauge. That thing's just neat. I got plans to put that in a display case. Got 2 Kodo bells this spring, and they do jingle. Found those at a farm property up in the mountains. Nearby that, maybe about 15 miles away, I found this spoon. It's a baby spoon. It's got a clown on one side and an elephant dressed up on the other. That is probably the neatest baby spoon I've seen. Got a few advertising thimbles this year. Nothing real special. Hollywood Coffee, and the other one's unlabeled. Few military buttons. World War I and World War II. This one here in particular is my favorite, even though it's the crustiest. That is during the Army-Indian Wars in Idaho. Call that the turkey button because neck is stretched out elongated. It looks like a turkey, not an eagle. And this big sash buckle we found up in the hills. Not sure what that went to, whether it was a stirrup or whether it was for part of a saddle. It's brass. Got the old pocket knife, probably 1940s, 1950s. The typical harmonica reeds. You find a lot of those in this area, but everybody back in 40s through 50s had a harmonica. And of course my first Schrader valve stem. So that wraps up the relics. Calling this the tokens and ear tags section for the year. Forgot this relic earlier when I was going through those. This buggy brake found up in the hills at the 1800s property where I found the ornate pin, the brooch. It's still complete. It hardly looks like it got any war. Moving on, these sheep ear tags appear in Idaho. I'm sure they've got them in other states as well. I know a few collectors. All these currently are from old towns, several towns that are forgotten, just communities that are just farm fields now. And as a matter of fact, I've sold all these, just filming them for now, but these are going to a gentleman in northern Idaho who collects them. A few of these tokens found locally. A good friendship token. I think a lot of people found those. Moving on, just several from old towns in southeast Idaho. Some local, some other areas that are around here. Utah. Bus token. That's an old one. It's kind of neat. It's got a beehive on it. This is a Utah sales tax token. I found that one recently at the school a couple episodes ago where I found all the silver. Then there's a couple more tokens from American Falls, some from Hayburn, some from different areas around here. But as always, they're fun to find. And here we go with the favorite part of the year-end wrap-up. All the coins, the silvers. Starting off with 35 Wheaties. Moving over, we got some older war nickels, pre-war, and 1 silver. 3 buffaloes for the year, 2 V-nickels. Count out 6 rosies there, 4 mercury dimes, 4 nice barber dimes. A few of those are in really good shape. Kind of interesting, I found 3 quarters this year. There's 1 silver, there's a standing, and of course the barber quarter, and that one's in really pretty shape. Moving over to the first half I found this year. Nice, beautiful walker. And then we end up with 8 Indians for the year. So I'm not complaining at all. A lot of age there, a lot of history for this area, and look forward to next year and doing it again.